Hey guys, this is the Empire signing in for, well, my first Pokemon card video. So, this is going to be a video explaining some rules that my Boy Scout troop has come up with, well, alternate rules that my Boy Scout troop has come up with for the Pokemon card game. And these rules are made to be more convenient, so they don't require energy cards, which allows for you to not have to get energy cards to make it cheaper, and also what's the word that I'm looking for? So you can use more than just like two types that you would have to use otherwise. So yeah, I'm going to start the video now. Okay, so the first part of this video is going to explain how to set up a deck. So, let's get started on this. The first part is a starting team, which we came up with because we didn't like to have the chance of not being able to start out and all that. You know how the regular rules are where you have to draw and hopefully there will be a basic Pokemon. Well, we made up the idea of a starting team so we wouldn't have to do that. So, okay, so here's my starting team. And a starting team consists of 8 Pokemon, and no items or trainers, of course. But first off, you may be wondering why that I can have more than 8 in my starting team, which goes to another rule. Evolutions and form changing does not count as on more than one card. So, for this, we have Mega Charizard and Charizard count as 1. So, because of that, so that's going to be 1 since they evolve, which goes to another rule of, technically Mega Charizard is supposed to evolve from Charizard EX, but we came up with the rule that, it doesn't have to be from an EX, because a lot of people have Megas, but they don't have the EX, and also, a Mega evolution, or any evolution will keep the type and add on the type of its previous evolution. So this Mega Charizard would actually be Steel and Electric and Fire, which is why I use this Charizard instead of, say, this Charizard to Mega evolve him from. So just a second. This also applies to Giratina level X, which also allows for cross-generation cards to evolve, since we're not doing this for tournaments or anything. We might make up our own tournaments, but we won't do it for like official tournaments. And then form changing, we have Aegislash here, who has the ability Stance Change. So what he could do is, for his turn, he could form change, but then he could also attack or use items or whatever. But then there's Kyurem and Black Kyurem, and then there's also White Kyurem, but I don't have him. And they are definitely forms of each other, but since they don't have the ability, it would take them an entire turn to change forms. So, I mean, that's just another form changing thing. If they are forms of each other, but they don't have an ability for form changing, then it takes an entire turn to form change. Okay, now we're going to do the actual setup of a deck. So, we have the starting team, actual Pokemon, trainers, this is a part of my deck, and it's kind of unique to my deck, the Team Plasma cards, and the prize cards. So, with these two combined, you can have 30 cards, 15 Pokemon, and 15 trainers. Then you can have 8 starting, and 6 prize cards, and these two do not count towards your overall 30 card count. So you have this and that, and then what I have here is kind of unique to me. It's an idea that I came up with to, as is actually legal in our rules, rig my deck. So I have these 5 Team Plasma cards here, and they go on the back of my deck, which is what will be facing up when it's laid down. And then, just a second, we have Volcarona here, Ultimate Plasma Volcarona, and his move Solar Transporter, which allows me to take those 5 and put them into my hand. And the ability to rig your deck actually is kind of there to encourage people to have moves or items to shuffle their deck, like to try to shuffle other people's decks, to try to stop any kind of rigging strategy. So, yeah. For this next part of the video, I'm going to be explaining how we attack without using energies. So it's actually pretty simple. What we do is we use, let me try to get some light on this. That's probably too bright. Let me avert the light some. Kind of move it over here if you guys can see that. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, what it is as you can see here, we use coin flips to attack. So, let me try to get another example too. We'll get Golurk here since he has a very basic attack. And Taurus. Those are some pretty good examples for what I'm going to explain. So, as you see here, Taurus has the attack Takedown, which requires 1 unspecified energy. So that would require 1 coin flip. So, you just do that, flip the coin, oh, it's heads. It does 30 damage, and then it does 10 damage to him. Okay? Then Golurk has the move Golurk Hammer, which has 4. And what we have is, if it has more than 2 energy costs, it requires 2 coin flips. But so, if it has up to 2 energy costs, but no more than 2, then it only requires 1 coin flip. So, he'd do Golurk Hammer, and he'd flip it. Oh, it missed. So then his attack completely doesn't miss. But if we flip it and say it lands on heads, then that'll do 50 damage. Then if, flip. And then if it lands on heads again, it'll do the full 100 damage. And even with this attack that uses 5 energy, it would still only require 2 coin flips. But then there's also attacks like Wreck here, that any stadium card in play, it will do 60 more damage and discard that stadium card. So what we'd do, we'd flip the coin. Well, say, okay, we flip the coin, it lands on heads, it does 30 damage, flip it again, lands on heads, 60 damage, and then there's this stadium card in play thing. To do the extra 60 damage, you'd have to do an extra coin flip, so that'd do 120, and then another one to discard the stadium card. Well, actually, oh wait, no, not an extra one for the stadium card. It would just be an extra one for the 60 damage and the stadium card. Those would both count for 1 coin flip. But then, since that's an extra effect, but with attacks like Split Bomb, you would do 2 coin flips, and each coin flip would do 1 of the 40 damage. So, yeah, that explains attacking. So, yeah. Okay, so that pretty much explains the basics. And this is just part 1 though, so I'm going to make another part explaining it even more in detail, more rules. So yeah, this is the Empire signing out. Bye.